If you use 2023, there's no problem, but the bailiffs have the new version. All right, let's jump right in. So, all right, don't let the fact that we're starting a minute late concern you. We are very good at what we do, and we will get y'all's cases moving forward properly. So, this is the Spalding County State Court. My name is Josh Thacker. I'm your judge. This is the ticket trials calendar call. I want to start out by saying that here in the Spalding County State Court, we believe that each of you, as you interact with this court, deserve the respect and the dignity that you would wish for someone you care about. We will extend that to each and every one of you as we interact with you all here today. Hey, please don't talk during court. Our goal is to move your case forward promptly, to resolve your case, get you back to your lives. Can't do that if y'all are having sidebar conversations, and frankly, I won't have much patience for it. All right, I don't have anybody virtual, thank goodness. All right, cell phones. So everybody right now, pull out your phones out of whatever pocket, purse you tucked it in, and absolutely positively make certain it's off. So we're about to start moving really fast. I cannot do that if you all are having sidebar conversations, and frankly, I won't have much patience for it. Today is what's called your calendar call. I'm going to go over your rights with you, and I'm going to tell you what your options are, and you or your attorney is going to tell me what to do with your case. Now, you may have a trial. There are two types of trials. There's a jury trial where 6 jurors issue the verdict on your case from that box over there. And then there's a bench trial, and that's where you give me permission to make the guilt or innocence decision with no jury present. You may have a conference with the solicitor's office if you wish. And then lastly, you can ask me about an attorney, and we will have that conversation. Thank you, Margaret. All right, your charges are misdemeanors. The average misdemeanor carries a maximum punishment of 12 months to serve in the Spalding County Jail and or a $1,000 fine. A few minor traffic charges like seatbelt have a lower maximum fine. A few high and aggravated misdemeanors have up to a $5,000 maximum fine. Now, each of you here have the right to a speedy and public jury trial, where 6 citizens of Spalding County, again, make the guilt or innocence decision on each of your charges. Okay. You also have the right to be presumed innocent, to force the state to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, to cross-examine the state's witnesses, to subpoena your own witnesses and evidence to court. You have the right to testify or not testify. You have the right to not incriminate yourself, and if you choose to remain silent, your silence will not be held against you. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford it, you can still hire your own attorney here, and private attorneys y'all can talk to if you want to. Now, if you cannot afford an attorney, then you should have replied on your arraignment date with the public defender's office. I warned you on that date to take prompt action to secure their services, or you would very likely hear me say that you have waived the right to apply for their services. But if you still want to have that conversation, we can. An attorney would help you understand our criminal justice system, would explain what your charges are and what the defenses are to those charges, file motions on your behalf, engage in plea negotiations, subpoena witnesses and evidence for your defense, conduct a trial on your behalf and make objections, protect your record, appeal any convictions, and otherwise work to protect you. Now, first offender and conditional discharge. It is my responsibility to explain these to you, and here they go. So these each allow you to enter a guilty plea without being convicted. However, you only get one of each for your entire life. So, first offender is for everything but traffic-related charges, including no DUIs. Conditional discharge is for drug-related charges only. All right, no-load contender and traffic charges. This applies to almost everybody here. A no-load plea, which is what we call it for short, is where you enter a guilty plea without admitting guilt. It's available on most all traffic charges. You get one no-load every 5 years, and that is measured from the incident date to the incident date, ticket date to ticket date. A no-load will usually prevent points. It'll usually save your license. It won't help you much at all if you're under 21. All right, if you are here today and you are not a U.S. citizen, you need to know that any conviction will very likely have a negative impact on your immigration status. All right, habeas corpus. So it's my job to explain this weird old law called habeas corpus. Here's how it works. If you're convicted, you may sue Spalding County civilly to challenge your convictions. All traffic charges have a 6-month window to use them, which is most all of you. A few of your office, that's this group up here to your left. They represent the state of Georgia. They are not your attorney. If you speak with them and you reach an agreement, you can resolve your case. If you speak with them and you do not reach an agreement, then you must return to this courtroom for me to personally give you your next set of instructions, which will include signing of the verdict form. Attorneys, if y'all don't work yours out, you don't need to come back and see me. Just sign the verdict form in the solicitor's office and you're good to go. All right. So some of you may want to close your payable ticket without a trial. And if that is you, then you have 3 options, and you'll need to discuss those 3 options with the solicitor's office. So your first option is, if you have the fine amount in full, you may choose to pay it. And you actually don't need to speak with the solicitor about that. You just tell the bailiffs and they'll walk you downstairs to make the payment. The middle of the road is that you don't have the fine amount, but you don't want to be placed on probation. And so what you do is you ask about our 30 for 30 program. I'll explain more about that in just a moment. The third option on the far end is that you don't have the fine amount, you don't do the 30 for 30, and you're just going to be placed on probation, and that probation will terminate upon completion. So you can see it's a continuum, each one farther to the other. The middle of the road, that 30 by 30 program, our 30 for 30 program is for defendants who don't have the fine amount, but don't want to be placed on probation. We rolled this out in January of last year. It's been a huge success, and we're very proud of this. So the way this works is you have a conference with the solicitor's office, you negotiate a plea. It does include a probated sentence, but they will recommend that I delay the start of your probation program, and then you get 30 days to pay it off. If you're successful, your case will close with no probation. If you're not successful, don't panic. Your probation starts automatically 31 days later, and it's still usually terminated upon completion, so you can still get it closed as quickly as you can. It's like I said, it's been a great program. We added it up, and anecdotally, we've had about an 80% success rate with that program. So we're real proud of that. All right, if you receive probation today, you'll be supervised by Spalding County Sentence Enforcement. There will be a one-time $25. So this is folks who get probation. There'll be a one-time $25 intake fee. 100% of all fines may always be worked off with community service work at a rate of $10 per hour. Additionally, there's a $50 per month supervision fee each month until you complete your probation. And that supervision fee is mandatory, but it can be waived after a separate hearing before me. All right, this is a 2-week trial calendar. All the trials are together on this calendar, bench and jury. This is week 1, and this is your calendar call. Then we're all going to skip a week in the middle for those of you that wish to have trials to get ready. And then week 2, actually I think we have to move that around this month. Let me just fix that.
Yes, it jumps to the last week of the month.
No.
Yeah, because of the school system. So we moved it to, so this group then would have to come back
He won't need that.
26th. Okay. Okay, so they're actually going to end up skipping 2 weeks. Okay. All right, because of the Griffin Spalding County school system being on winter break, some of you may have kids in the school system, so we decided to be kind, and what we did was we moved, instead of the week, we normally start the week of the 19th, but what we're going to do is, since a lot of you and a lot of us have kids in the school system, we've decided to move it 1 more week out so that it's after the school break. So y'all, your week 2 will be the week of February 26th, so 2 weeks between them. It begins at 9 a.m. sharp on that Monday. You will appear each and every day as directed until your case is resolved. We will run 2 or 3. So if you recognize a name that's missing, I'd much rather you call them, tell them to get down here, than have to get the sheriff to go get them. So if you do that, you will save them a great deal of future trouble, and they'll probably be grateful to you for it. All right, pretrial motions, speedy trial demands, and whatnot. So if you have any pretrial motions that need to be heard, you must tell me if they are pending. So that is any motion that needs to be addressed before the jury is selected in your case. Failure to provide this information to me will result in waiver. Bench warrants automatically results in waiver. And all pretrial matters must be heard at the first calendar or they are waived unless I specifically preserve them on the record in open court. I've gone with lots of titles for this. I just went with this is important because, you know, this is important. So follow it. If you tell me today that you want a jury trial, what you're telling me is you don't want a conference. You do not want an attorney. You do not want a continuance. You do not want a negotiated plea. You don't have any motions that need to be heard, and this is your last chance to ask for these. I have no intentions of exploring any of these options when the jury is standing outside that door ready to come in and be picked on your case. That's the whole point of calendar call. Okay, so as we call the calendar, when you hear your name called, stand up for me, if you're able. If you're not able, just wave your hand real high. If you have an attorney, once you've stood up, remain silent and let them answer for you. That's what you brought them here to do. If you do not have an attorney, then you're going to answer very loudly with one of the following. So you'll say either jury trial, or bench trial, or conference, or attorney. And do you have any motions? And I do need to add that traffic laws in Georgia. Okay, here we go. Anything else, Mr. Shepard?
No, sir.
Anything else, Mr. Charles?
No, sir.
All right. All right, here we go. Philip Ayers.
Your Honor, she's outside, she's out, she just showed up.
No.
Is that Victoria Baker?
I'm sorry, Judge, I got ahead of myself.
That's right, Ms. Baker.
No, Ayers.
Okay. All right, Victoria Baker.
Bench trial.
All right, so we'll do bench trial on that. Let's back up to then Philip Ryan Ayers. You're good, thank you. All right, no response.
On Ayers?
Yes.
Sorry, I got a little off track here.
That's right.
Well,
My
that's
apologies.
I've never done that, so I can't relate, so.
well, that's for a bond forfeiture and a bench warrant on Mr. Ayers' case.
Great,
And then Ms. Baker wanted a bench trial?
that's correct. All right, Latanya Barton,
Conference.
conference, thank you. All right, William Bateman. I haven't seen the Sunday.
29? What kind of case? Judge, if we go back to Ms. Barton,
Yes.
she also has a second case, 23 SR 0029. That's a suspended license and other traffic charges.
Okay, so I'm officially adding that case to this calendar. It'll move forward together, moving forward. So Ms. Barton, there's a second case. Were you aware that there are two cases? It's okay, don't panic. What I'm gonna do is I'm putting those two cases together. Put a question mark in Ms. Sundin's case. I haven't seen her.
Is she on that, or was that one from upstairs?
I don't know. Well, she's y'all's juvenile.
Yeah, that's why I said, okay.
I just texted her.
Okay, so, I mean,
But she may have
I'm
picked
not,
up a case on her own, Judge. I mean, not outside of what she does for us.
sure. So, like I said, I figured y'all would be able to figure it out for us and tell us what to do.
Yes, sir.
All right, DeJane Bowie, D-A-S-G-A-N-E, DeJane Bowie.
That's for bond forfeiture and a bench warrant.
Yeah.
All right, Viet Gong,
Your Honor, like, I cannot understand, like, what is doctrine and any motion meaning?
so if you filed something like a speedy trial demand, saying you wanted to go first, if you filed a motion to suppress, so it's things that the attorneys normally file, that frankly self-represented folks normally do not. But I have to hear those before trial. So if you're asking about it, you probably haven't filed those things.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so would you like a jury trial, a bench trial, or a conference, or an attorney?
Yeah, like, what conference?
So a conference means you talk to the solicitor's office up here. You're not waiving any rights by talking to them. And if you can reach an agreement to resolve your case, to close your case today, you'll be given a chance to do that. So you don't give anything up by talking to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bench trial, please.
What'd you say?
Bench trial.
Bench trial, okay. All right, sit tight. You all let me know. All right, back to you, Mr. Malloy. Laricia Ernst?
That's how I was, Judge, she's outside.
Okay.
So come.
Oh, I see. Her name sounds exactly the same as, yeah. So it's spelled differently, but it sounds the same. All right, Jonathan Gonzalez Rios. Gonzalez Rios.
That's for bond forfeiture and a bench warrant.
Granted. All right, that's page one. All right, Edwin Galaccio. Jason Fish. Hey.
Give us a,
Hey, mark it off, everybody. All right, I also show that Joshua Houston or Houston paid. Okay. Eddie James? Eddie James? No?
that's for a bond forfeiture and a bench warrant.
And All right, back to you, Mr. Malloy. Shannon Martin? Martin? No?
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
And let me know when you find a client.
Yes, sir.
I'll very likely set the cash bond on that, just so that y'all are aware, you don't normally have cases with cash bonds. Wait, how do you represent her? That's not a
Yeah, I was wondering the same
probation
thing.
offense. That's a,
It came over from Sam's.
that's all right, we'll talk about it.
It was a transfer from municipal, I do know
It
that.
was.
It's one of those cases from Saturday.
Yeah.
Got it, okay. Forbes Matthews? Matthews?
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
And, Takasha McCrary? Milford? Dutton?
Mr. Dutton sent a message, he has a plea in
Oh.
Barnesville,
Yes.
maybe. Said he would be here as soon as that was over.
All right, is Milford here? All right, I'll recall that, just, I got that conflict. Justice Menace?
Conference, 121.
All right. Thank you. Braden Mullins? Mullins?
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
All right, Christina Owens?
Keith Wiseman from Ms. Owens. We have a negotiated plea on the bench ready to,
Okay. Perfect, I'll take it, before I step off the bench.
I appreciate it.
Avon Parham, Mr. Malloy?
Conference or other?
All right, Gennaro Patterson? Mr. Hicks? I didn't see Mr. Hicks.
It paid a lot.
Oh, it's paid.
Yeah, that should have been. And Judge, you have Owens, I believe you have the paper in front of you.
Yes.
That was, she can actually pay that one. I wrote it up as a 30 for 30. And then after Mr. Wiseman talked to her, he determined that she could pay.
Oh, okay. Well then,
But it will be a no vote.
oh, you gotta do the no. Okay. That won't take long. We'll knock it out.
And then Patterson paid, right?
That's what Eric said.
Yes.
All right, I'm marking that off. Well, that's my thing. I'm gonna bring a consent order out for myself. I owe the clerk $25. Kelly Penson,
Conference or other?
Daryl Rivers,
Conference or
Marquisha Senior.
Here. Conference.
All right, thank you. Rhonda Simon. Rhonda Simon. I'm so sorry. What was your announcement?
Bench strong.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do you have a driver's license?
You have your license?
Yes.
You have a driver's license?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to have a quick conference this morning? You can always have a trial.
He's saying if you have your license, your conference might be productive.
What, say that again?
He's saying if you have your license, that would help you a lot to resolve your case. That's all.
I have my license.
Yeah, you have your license with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to her real quick.
Kareem Smith, Danielle Wash.
It was on my payment.
That should have been paid.
Yeah, she says. Wanda Starks. Starks. No?
That's for a bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
All right, 3 cases with Mr. Malloy, Milton, Irwin, Tarver.
Conference or other?
Also, Mr. Malloy, Michael Thomas. There you are.
Conference.
That's all right, your attorney's.
Conference or other?
You must have slipped in right at 9. All right, Renwick Towns.
Conference or other?
Perfect.
Is he
All
present?
right, yeah, he's waiting.
He's here.
All right, so those are all conference with Mr. Malloy. Takesha Watts.
Hey.
Hey. Mark her off. All right, everybody on page 5. All right, Elijah White, 2 cases. Good morning. What'd you like? Conference? Okay. Robert Williams. Conference, thank you, Mr. Williams. All right, everybody get on page 6. And then Jalen Willis.
Conference, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Willis. All right, so, let's make a couple of announcements to sweep everybody else up, 'cause I don't think I got everybody. If you were a witness and you were subpoenaed to be here today, raise your hand for me. If you were a witness, okay, no response on that. If you, otherwise your name was not called and you expected to be called, stand up for me. Yeah, there's always a couple, it's okay. Who do you have?
Judge, I have Christopher Smith, who's present.
It's an accountability.
It's an accountability court plea, Your Honor. I can give you case numbers 24 SR 00. Yes, sir.
I think he's already in. We just asked him to walk in today and go ahead and do his half plea.
This is great.
Keep him.
I mean, so are y'all ready as soon as we, okay, that's fine.
Yes.
You just tell me when you're ready.
Okay. May we excuse ourselves and go through the paperwork?
That sounds like a great idea.
Do you have it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Jack, yeah.
All right, you Smith?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Chris.
Go out that door right there.
All right, what's your name, nice and loud?
Michael Jones.
Judge, that's the public defender's case. He's on tomorrow's calendar.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, that's your conference.
Okay.
Yeah, they brought their folks. They only had 2 on the calendar for tomorrow, so they just walked
So,
in both.
both of those, the next one is Mitchell.
Maurice Mitchell.
Maurice
All
Mitchell.
right, he's here too, Judge.
There he is.
Yeah, Michael Jones and Maurice Mitchell.
Great, that's a good call for y'all, because that's your date.
I got the files.
Are you?
In our office.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, anyone else whose name was not called or case was not addressed? All right, so, what we're gonna do at this point is, I'm gonna yield the floor to Mr. Shepherd. He's gonna talk to you about how the conferences will go. And then Mr. Boyle will make a few announcements, and then, I'll take a few pleas before I get into it.
Yeah, I think if you'll take Mr. Hutchinson's plea and Mr. Wiseman's plea, those are signed up, ready to go. All right. Good morning, y'all. I'm Patrick Shepherd. I'm the solicitor. That means that I'm the prosecutor. This is Jackie Tony. She's the other solicitor. We're the ones that do the conferences this morning. There's a good many of you who are represented by an attorney. If that applies to you, just follow your attorney's instructions for the rest of the morning. We'll give your attorneys an offer to resolve your case. They'll relay that to you in a few minutes, so just follow their instructions. Those of you who do not have an attorney who have asked for a conference, there's quite a few of them. What's going to happen is in a few minutes, Miss Lenise Fletcher there in the black sweater and Miss Sherry Middleton here in the gray sweater, one of those 2 ladies will start calling names. We'll call about 4 or 5 at a time. When your name is called, you're going to go out the double doors over here to my right. In the same hallway through the same set of double doors here, quietly have a seat in the courtroom to either enter your plea, or get instructions for your trial date in a couple of weeks. When you come back into the courtroom, make sure that you do come through those double doors. Do not use that single door over there behind Deputy Piper. If you come through that single door, you'll disrupt court. You'll make the judge unhappy. It's not a good way to start your Tuesday. There's obviously a lot more of y'all than there are of us, but we do this pretty much every day. We know what we're doing. We move quick. We'll have everybody out of here at a decent time today. All right, thank you.
For all those of you who are represented by the Public Defender's Office, this firm, that's myself, Karen Floyd, and Mr. Aaron Charles, here tonight.
Barton, Viet Dom, Justice Menace, Marquisha Senior, Rahilda Simon, and Robert Williams.
We'll start training.
We talked about not taking a long break. What did we?
How we left it was when the bailiffs like we were the all members out here. So the probation.
Probably about 30 minutes. But that's a guess. Oh, Mr. Dom, they were looking for you out there, so. All right, let's come back to order, everybody. I'm gonna do these, please, and make your two announcements. Are you Christina Owens?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, I'll get y'all swap places.
You got to talk and they need to hear.
All right, Ms. Owens, I want to make certain that you can hear me okay, and you're ready, and you have any questions, you ask me, okay?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Ms. Owens, will you please raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about any of those rights?
No, sir.
You're here with your attorney, Mr. Wiseman. Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job he's done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
I'm holding up this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding
Yes,
up?
sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2? Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and to ask your attorney any questions that you have about it,
Yes, sir, I did.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Have you had all of the time that you need to speak with your attorney about all aspects of your case?
Yes, sir, I did.
Are you satisfied with the job your attorney's done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Oh wait, I just realized you have this is written up as a 30 by 30, but I just realized that y'all said you do have the funds to pay?
Yes,
Oh, I don't have to do all this. Hey, are you 21 years of age or older?
Oh, I'm 37 years old.
That's all right. I'm a little past you, so we're all in this together. So, have you used a NOLO on a moving violation in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Do you want me to accept this NOLO on this July 26, 2023 moving violation that resulted in 78 and a 55?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I actually needed. I realize that I don't have to do all of that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to accept your NOLO. I'm gonna follow the recommendation. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently asking for the NOLO and entering this plea. I've moved the paperwork. Was it 528? Is that what y'all agreed on?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I don't need to finish this because I'm just gonna give you all what you negotiated for. With the NOLO, I don't have to go through all that. Do y'all have any questions before we part ways?
No,
Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass you off to the bailiffs. If you'll go wait out in the hallway on the bench for the bailiffs, they'll come out, grab you and walk you downstairs to the clerk's office. Once you make your payment and you have your receipt. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate it.
welcome to come out here. So,
Thank you so much.
all right, anything else? Oh, they want me to, ever since that guy jumped over the bench in Vegas, they want to go.
We'll go that way. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, all right.
Judge, do we have anybody to help them with the iPad? I have about 5 people out there.
Yes, we have more iPads back here too.
No,
So-
there is one out there. But
Sorry about the delay, everybody. Just pulled in 8 different directions. All right, quick answer, senior on page 4 is an all plus. Okay. All right, on to Mr. Hutchison's. All right, this is a walk-in accountability court plea. So what we'll do is we're gonna go through everything up to sentencing and then stop, at which point, okay. All right, so you state your full name for me.
Christopher Lee Smith.
Mr. Smith, do you understand that this is what we call our accountability court plea, or we kind of colloquially will call it our half plea? And that we're gonna go through everything up to sentencing, and then I'm gonna stop, and then you're gonna go finish our accountability court, and then your case will be dismissed. Or your
Yes,
plea
sir.
will be withdrawn, and then your case will be dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Is that what you're wanting to do today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's jump in. Mr. Smith, were you on time for court today?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights that are read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Your attorney, Mr. Hutchison, from Virgil Brown's office, has passed out to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2,
Yes, sir.
and is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And to ask your attorney any questions you have about it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Have you had all of the time that you need to speak with your attorney about all aspects of your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job your attorney has done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial,
Yes, sir.
including this grouping of rights I'm pointing at in the middle of page 1?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by entering this plea, you're giving up the right to a jury trial, including those rights?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do on your case?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. October 22nd, 2023, do you stipulate as to count 1 that there is a sufficient amount of information for me to accept this DUI plea for DUI less safe count 1?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you wish to enter a guilty plea to that charge, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then count 4, failure to maintain lane during the same course of events. Mr. Hutchinson, do you stipulate to the factual basis?
I do, Your Honor.
And Mr. Smith, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to failure to maintain lane count 4?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to find that with Mr. Smith's, between Mr. Hutchison's stipulation as the factual basis combined with Mr. Smith's request to enter the guilty plea, that there's enough for me to take the plea. I'm going to find that he's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving his rights and entering this plea. I have reviewed the recommendation that has been negotiated, and if it becomes necessary for me to sentence, I will sentence according to the terms that are on the front of this document.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, I'm not about to sentence, but Mr. Hutchinson, if you wish to add anything, now's your chance.
Your Honor, I just wanted the court to be aware, I was answering some questions in court that I wasn't 100% sure about. But he did begin the accountability court January the 18th of 2024. He's a little shy of a month. He says it's difficult, but it's been very helpful to him. He also told me that Judge Esri made a note. He works at the Kia plant, and Judge Esri was impressed that he was able to keep up and keep the pace with the program in light of the fact that he was still working at the Kia plant. I don't think you're going to have a problem one with him, Judge. He's doing this. And Judge, what you also need to know is October 20th or something, or it was sometime at the tail end of October is when he came in and talked to us. We talked about accountability court the first time. He came out of the gate wanting to do accountability court. So this is something he wants. This is something he's going to be successful with, and we just appreciate the court giving him the opportunity. And if the court has any questions about how he feels about accountability court so far, I told him Judge Thacker may very well ask you some questions about that.
Because we don't normally do the plea this far in, so,
Yes, sir.
I mean, how's it been going for you?
Between the driving and getting here on time for the drug test, because they closed at 4:30, communication is the key. A whole lot of communication. got a paper I gotta write, which been trying to pick.
They support each other. In fact, when you're here, you'll see it. And this is the thing that just tells you more than anything else what an amazing group of people they are. So on the accountability court, as they come up, you will notice that each of them hold the door open back there for the next person to come up. And it's just a little moment, but it's a moment that shows you how tight that group is, how supportive they are of each other, and how they take care of each other. And obviously, you're there. You know that there's people there as young as 20 and as old as probably mid-70s. So, and they walk all genders, all races, all everything. And it is just, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I couldn't be more prouder to say it. But yes, phase one is very difficult. So I want to acknowledge that. So, all right, well, good job. Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, so let's go through our last set of questions. So this is what makes this officially an accountability court plea. Mr. Smith, is it your intention to enter and successfully complete the Spalding County State Court Accountability Court program?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that as a part of this plea, you normally have the right to withdraw a plea at any moment?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you are waiving that right and you may not withdraw this plea unless and until you complete the accountability court successfully?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that if you fail to complete the accountability court successfully, you will not get a jury trial? We will simply come back here. We'll have a hearing to determine, with me, to determine whether to remove you or you can consent to it. And if I do end up doing that, I will simply sentence you to the terms that are on here, and I do not anticipate making any changes. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I expect you to do great, but it's my job to say awkward things like we just did out loud.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find that Mr. Smith, again, is knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently waiving his rights during this plea. I will not be signing the Senate sheet. Instead, I will pass this back to the solicitor's office, who will then attach it to the contract that you've probably already signed, but it hasn't been filed. And Ms. Margaret, if you'll give them the black copies and just give the white copy, or give the white original to the solicitor's office. So, Ms. Margaret's going to give you all the pink and yellow copies for your records. And that way you know what we're looking at. Anything else before we adjourn on this one?
No, sir.
All right, and Kathy, if you put this in your transcript list.
May Christopher and me be excused.
$17.23. My memory is that you were on time for court this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I prefer my hood.
Okay. And did you hear the rights? Good job for that. Did you hear the rights that I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Well, I'll just jump forward. Your attorney, Mr. Charles, has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and having a chance to ask your attorney any questions you have about it,
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial,
Yes, sir.
including these jury trial rights that I'm pointing at, grouped in the middle of page 1?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that by entering this plea, you're giving up that right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Is that what you want to do?
I just saw the paper. I just want to go ahead and get everything on over with.
Okay, right, I've got to ask the question again though, because I have to have a clear yes or no. Do you want to waive your right to a jury trial and enter this plea and close your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Willis, are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes, sir.
Have you used a NOLO on a suspended license charge in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
And are you asking, and Mr. Charles, do you stipulate that there's a sufficient factual basis for me to accept this NOLO plea on the suspended license charge?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You want to enter a NOLO plea to that suspended license charge from December 18th of 2020?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to find that Mr. Willis is qualified for the NOLO, and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that between Mr. Charles's stipulations, the factual basis, and Mr. Willis's request to enter the NOLO plea, that there's enough for me to take the plea. I've reviewed the recommendation, and I'm going to follow it exactly the way it's been negotiated. Mr. Charles, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Nothing to add.
All right, Mr. Willis, any questions about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
All right, here we go. Jalen Willis, 22 SR 1723 from December 18th of 2020. Count 1, suspended. Already gotten it back. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products. You were tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. Your case will close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this conviction. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, do you have any questions for me about anything before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
All right, then I'm going to pass you off to Ms. Margaret. She is going to walk you out those double doors and have you go meet with sentence enforcement.
All right.
Thank you. All right,
Miss Benson is next, Your Honor.
all right, let's go ahead next as well. All right, Ms. Benson, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Kelly Michelle Benson.
Ms. Benson, you are here today on 22 SR 1568, and according to my calendar, you are on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No, sir.
Ms. Benson, your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and to ask your attorney any questions you have about it,
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about all aspects of your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job your attorneys have done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial,
Yes, sir.
including this grouping of rights here in the middle of page 1 that I'm pointing at?
Yes, sir.
Do you wish to give up all of these rights and enter this plea and close this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Benson, accept this shoplifting plea from November 23rd of 2020.
Yes, sir, I do.
And Ms. Benson, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to this shoplifting plea that your attorney has stipulated the factual basis on?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then I'm going to find that with your attorney's stipulation, Mr. Charles's stipulations, the factual basis combined with Ms. Benson's request to enter a guilty plea, there's enough for me to take this plea. I'm going to find that Ms. Benson is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving her rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it exactly the way it's been negotiated. Mr. Charles, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Benson, do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right. Kelly Benson on 22 SR 1568. I'm going on the shoplifting charge from November 23rd of 2020. I'm going to find you guilty. This 12 months probation, $735 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work at $10 per hour, show your valid license to probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, and you'll be tested for those. $50, Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. You are additionally going to pay $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. 20 hours of community service work at a rate of no less than 6 hours per week. Do not go within 1,000 feet or contact any Walmart. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. You have 30 days if you wish to appeal this conviction. And the fourth shoplifting conviction becomes a felony regardless of what the merchandise is. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, then I'm gonna pass it off to Mr. Smith. He's gonna walk you out those double doors and have you go meet with probation.
Mr. Milton, Tara.
All right, Mr. Tarver, if you please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Milton Irvin Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you are here today on 22 SR 1678. And Mr. Tarver, actually, you have 3 cases.
Yes, 3 cases, actually 4 cases, Your Honor, 1 will be dismissed. 3 cases, it's been dismissed, 2 and 1 will be dismissed. 1687 should be dismissed. We have to dismiss it.
All right, do that one more time. I'm gonna take a plea on 23 SR 1402.
Right, and 22 SR 1678 and 22 SR 1687 will be dismissed.
Okay.
And do not watch with Your Honor.
That's what I was looking for. The only thing I found is the null process, but we all know that I'm not very good at handling all the paperwork in stride. So I'm sure it'll turn out.
Yeah, we have them up there.
While Mr. Richards is flipping through the paperwork, Mr. Tarver, let's just start fresh. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Take your hand down, state your full name.
Milton Irvin Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you have 3 cases on the calendar, 22 SR 1687, which is going to be dismissed for null pros, 23 SR 1402, which you're going to plead to, and 22 SR 1678. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Were you on time for court today?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No.
Mr. Tarver, your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. It's got both of your case numbers on it for your plea. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
And is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And having a chance to speak with Mr. Charles, or your attorney, about your case?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
Mr. Tarver, I'm so sorry, Tarver's your last name, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. Tarver, you, have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about in 23 SR 1402 to an item, to a charge that is a family violence charge? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you understand that because of that plea and the conviction that will follow this sentence, you will not be allowed to have a firearm or ammunition for the rest of your days?
Yes.
Is that acceptable to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, any questions for me before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Charles, do you stipulate in 22 SR 1678 to count 2 that there's a sufficient factual basis to accept this reckless conduct plea?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you want to enter a guilty plea to count 2 reckless conduct in 22 SR 1678 from July 2nd of 2022? Mr. Tarver?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to 23 SR 1402. From September 1st, 2023, Mr. Charles, do you stipulate to the factual basis for the criminal trespass under the Family Violence Act?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And do you wish to enter a guilty plea, Mr. Tarver, to criminal trespass under the Family Violence Act?
Yes, sir.
All right, I find between the attorney's stipulation as the factual basis across both cases combined with Mr. Tarver's request to enter guilty pleas, that there's enough for me to take these pleas. You will find that Mr. Tarver is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving his rights in entering these pleas. I've reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it as negotiated. Mr. Charles, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Tarver, about anything before a sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Show your valid license for probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, and you'll be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney, 20 hours of community service work, no violent contact with Tasha Welch, no firearms or ammunition, and that's the sentence of the court on 22 SR 1678. All right, moving on to the next case, 23 SR 1402, count 1, criminal trespass, family violence from September 1st to 23. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $735 is your fine. Again, same community service work options, license requirements, searches for drugs, alcohol. Same, there will be an additional $50 per month supervision fee, an additional $25 intake fee. This case will run consecutive to 22 SR 1678, giving you a total of 24 months probation. You'll have an additional $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney on this case. Same no violent contact with Ms. Welch. Same no firearm provisions. You have 30 days. You lost your firearm rights for the rest of your days. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is that acceptable to you?
Yes.
All right. Then you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Mr. Tarver, they have gotten the iPads working back there.
We already did that.
Okay, great. So I said to have everybody fill it out on the form, but as soon as Savannah got here, she got that sorted out. All right, any questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, if you'll please step out those double doors and go meet with Senate enforcement.
Morris Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell.
Okay, got you. You're Maurice Mitchell?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Maurice Mitchell.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, you're here on 23 TK 4015, and that you did, you were on time for court today. So did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
This is your signature.
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to read?
Yes, sir.
Do you are you satisfied with the job they've done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand, Mr. Mitchell, that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is on tomorrow's.
Yes, sir.
This is why y'all kept seeing me flip through papers.
Like
I'm
that.
like, I know he's on here somewhere, I saw it. There it is, page 3. Everybody got it? Everyone already had it, I was the only one that didn't, so I'm leading from behind on this one. All right, so, Mr. Mitchell, you're on tomorrow's calendar, so just say it out loud. By doing this plea today, you will not need to return to court tomorrow. I'm just saying that out loud, so you heard me say it.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, Mr. Mitchell, do you understand that by entering this plea, you're giving up the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And is that what you want to do on your case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions for me before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Charles, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support this too fast for condition plea from December 20th of 2022?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to this too fast for conditions charge? It's a reduced charge.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna find that, between your attorney's stipulation as to the factual basis, as well as your request to enter a guilty plea, that there's enough for you to take the plea. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it. Any questions, about anything? I'm so sorry, Mr. Charles, the floor is yours if you want it.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Mitchell, about anything we've covered or anything you have before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Maurice Mitchell, 23 TK 4015, from December 20th of 2022. Count 1, too fast for conditions. Guilty, 12 months probation, $300 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days. That's going to allow you 30 days to pay your fine off in full, plus a $30 if you choose. At that time, work off your fine with community service work. You will need to show your valid license to probation. You'll be tested for alcohol, illegal drugs, and hemp products. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and a $50, actually, the $50 public defender restitution will be included in what you'll need to pay to close it. So to close your file altogether will be $350, $380. So $380 altogether will close your case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got a puzzled look on your face. Can I answer any questions for you? I might be reading your body language wrong. Okay. Then that's it. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. This will not go under driver's history. This is not the type of charge that is reported by the clerk to the Department of Driver Services. I figured that's what you were waiting for me to say.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for you, Parkways?
No.
All right, go get this knocked out and get me in your rearview mirror.
One question.
Yes.
You said I have to take a class or something?
I don't think I said
No,
Well, 30 days. I had 30
No,
you have to get to pay to pay.
to pay the $380 to close your case.
Oh, okay.
And it's what we call our 30 by 30 program, and it lets people not go on probation. Because we don't want folks on probation that don't need to be on probation. So, anyway, that's
You said you'd pay by
point.
check. That's what, yeah, that's what.
That way, when you close your case, you can tell people that you were not put on probation, because you were not put on probation.
Right.
So, that's it. Just trying to give you a little, just trying to move the needle a little bit in your direction.
Sweet.
Anything else? Okay, Mr. Smith's gonna walk out those double doors, have you gonna meet with sentence enforcement.
Yeah, well, we guys. He has pleading guilty on to 23 SR 1480 and 22 SR 1166 will be dismissed. The dismissal should be there.
Waivers. Darrell Keith River Small Cross over here on 22 SR 1666, which I'll sign that once we complete the plea on 23 SR 1480. Is that correct, Mr. Charles?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's jump in. Mr. Rivers, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to you in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, state your full name for me.
Darrell Keith Rivers, Jr.
All right, Mr. Rivers, you were here today on these two cases that I just read out. Were you on time for court today?
Yes, sir.
And did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Did you, your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and to ask your attorney any questions you have about it,
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
And do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rivers, you, have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about all aspects of all of your cases?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job they've done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Rivers, do you have any questions for me before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Charles, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support, looks like count 3 from September 17th of 2022, the reckless driving plea?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You want to enter a guilty plea to that reckless driving charge, Mr. Rivers?
Yes, sir.
And then count 4. Have you used a no low and a no insurance in the last 5 years?
No, sir, not that one.
So that's the only one that was, no, it's count 6, excuse me, the no insurance charge.
Got 6.
Yes, got it now. So count 6, no insurance. Do you want to do a no low on that?
Yes, sir.
You stipulate the factual basis, Mr. Charles, on count 6?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, on to count 7, Mr. Charles, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis for the obstruction of a law enforcement officer charge?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you want to enter a guilty plea to that obstruction charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that'll cover it. And again, this should not anymore suspend your license.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm going to find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it as negotiated. Mr. Charles, the floor is yours if you would like it.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Rivers, do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dale Keith Rivers Jr.
Yes, sir.
Junior, correct? All right. It's the 23 SR 1480. Count 3, reckless driving. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $1,220 is your fine. Count 4, I'm so sorry, I keep doing that. Count 6, no insurance, no low, 12 months consecutive, $445 is your fine. Count 7, obstruction, guilty, 12 months concurrent for a total of 24 months probation and a fine of $590. So that's on counts 3, 6, and 7, and I'm just going to simply say that you've got a bunch of other charges and they're all dismissed pursuant to this plea.
Yes,
You may work off your fine with community service work. Show your valid license to probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, restitution of $50 to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. And that's it. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you actually have 12 months on this one because of the obstruction charge if you want to use your habeas rights. Melissa?
6 of them are dismissed.
Okay, thanks, y'all.
Yeah, he's got himself in this. Yeah, it only lists
9.
to count 7.
Actually, it's 9.
Yeah, apparently our database just got tired and couldn't do it. So,
Thanks, sorry for the interruption.
no, it's okay. All right, then that's it. Mr. Rivers, any questions before we part ways? All right, I've signed the dismissal on your other case. It's technically called an all pros. Mr. Richards, and I'll walk you out those double doors. Good luck to you, sir.
The towns?
What else you got, Mr. Charles?
Mr. Towns, Your Honor, and after that I have Mr. Jones.
You said Jones is after that?
Yeah, Jones is after Towns. Jones
all-
have
It's all in the report.
3 cases, yes.
Oh, good.
And Towns have 2 cases.
Yes. All right, Mr. Towns, I see you got a bum leg. Would you like to sit down? If you want to, just grab that seat right there. Either one, either table's fine. And just pull that microphone that's at the table up to you.
Yes, sir.
They'll turn it on for you. Yeah, we don't need you to, I don't want you to be in any sort of discomfort during this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You more comfortable now?
Yes, sir.
Great. All right, if you will, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, say your full name for me.
Renwick, Darrell Town.
And Mr. Towns, you're here on two cases, 21 SR 1772, as well as 21 SR 1774. According to my calendar, you are on time for court today, is that correct?
That's right.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see a PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Your attorney has passed up to me the attorney and defendant plea rights waiver, which I'm now holding up. Do you recognize this document as the written version of everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you have an opportunity to ask your attorney any questions that you had about it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Towns, have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about all of your cases?
Yes, I did.
Are you satisfied with the job they've done on your behalf?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
My son does that every day. That's why I just rolled right off. All right, so, Mr. Towns, do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You want to close your case today and be done?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Mr. Towns, do you have any questions for me about anything before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions? All right, Mr. Charles, do you stipulate, we're going to do these in the right order, starting with 21 SR 1772, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support this theft by taking plea from August 22nd, 2021 here in Spalding County?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You want to enter a guilty plea to that theft by taking charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then moving on to your second case, 21 SR 1774. Mr. Charles, do you stipulate that there's factual basis for this battery charge from August 28th, 2021 here in Spalding County? It is not a family violence charge.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And do you want to enter a guilty plea to that battery charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find between your attorney's stipulations, the factual basis, and your request to enter guilty pleas that there's enough for me to take these pleas. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving these rights and entering these pleas. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it as negotiated. Mr.
From the VA, he's not getting any benefits yet, so therefore he doesn't have any money. So we asking the court not only not to assess any fine, but to also waive the probation fee, because he's going to be going right back to rehab when he finishes today. So he just left rehab to come here and then he's going to go back to it.
And obviously I have to ask the question, have we explored the accountability court for him?
He's already in a program with the VA.
I didn't complete two different programs.
Yeah, he's
I've
already
been in treatment since September 2022.
And you are getting treatment through the VA?
Yes, and I'm still in sober living.
Okay.
Continuing my treatment.
That's my job to ask that question, so this is fine.
And I'm also in school.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna grant that, so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything else, Mr. Charles?
No, that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, I've granted all your requests. Mr. Towns, obviously, thank you for your service. We do have Veterans Court, but it sounds to me like you're fully plugged into the VA, and it looks to me like you're gonna be okay here, so. I'm glad you've chosen a sober pathway. I think your life is gonna be much better now.
It is already.
Oh, good, that's what I wanna hear. All right, yeah, all you gotta do here is just keep going. So, in fact, I'm just gonna put a note so that a couple of years from now, when we look at this and wonder why we did it this way, I'm gonna put that he is to continue treatment through the VA.
Yes.
And that way it'll be very clear that this is why this is structured this way. Okay, all right, then here we go. Starting with 21 SR 1772, Renwick Towns, count one, theft by taking. We'll find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, no fine. Because you are thoroughly entrenched with the VA, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna have you, do the, license requirement, the supervision fees, or the economy lodge, or 1941 package, and you are ordered to continue your treatment through the VA. I'm also gonna put on here, I think this will work a lot better if I move you to non-report when you've completed it.
Yeah, that was, I thought Mr.
Well, it's marked for e-report, but not non-report, so I'm gonna add
Okay,
that. Because it seemed to me like that's probably what y'all were.
you were talking about him not reporting as long as he remains in treatment.
Yes, I'm great with this, so, okay, I've added that. All right, on to 21 SR 1774. Count one battery, guilty, 12 months, no fine, 2 and 3 are dismissed. I've waived all the other requirements as well. This is consecutive to 21 SR 1772. This is also on e-report. This is also available for non-report. I'm leaving it as non-report because I have victims that you need to have no contact with, and you must continue your treatment with the VA. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. And I do need to say out loud that if you do not do these things and I end up having to revoke you, that's a very unlikely scenario, but I'm just saying out loud, I do reserve the right to sentence you into our accountability court if you don't do what you're supposed to do and you come back to me. We don't normally do that pathway, but it's my job to say things like that out loud. That is an unlikely scenario. I feel very confident that you and I are gonna be just fine.
Yes, we will.
Okay, all right, that's it. If you will, Ms. Margaret, you can take him out whichever door you prefer. Just go with Ms. Margaret.
I think you left your hat outside. I walk with, you left on the chair outside. Mr. Jones, Michael Jones. Michael Jones, you're on 4 cases, pleading guilty to 3.
And tomorrow's calendar.
I was already looking for it, wondering what I was doing wrong.
Yes, that's also tomorrow's calendar.
Yeah. All right, off we go. So, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Michael David Jones.
Mr. Jones, you have 4 cases. You have 22 SR 180. I'm so sorry, 1180. You then have 22 SR 1194. And then you have 23 SR 1108. And then 23 TK 4641. All right, we're about to resolve all 4 of those cases, a couple of them by pleas and one of them by dismissal. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's jump in. Are you on time for court today?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones, your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
They are.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
It is.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
Did you ask your attorney any questions that you have about it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
You had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about all aspects of all of your cases.
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the job they've done on your behalf?
I am.
You understand that you have the right to a jury trial on all of your cases?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and all of your cases will be closed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Jones, do you have any questions for me about anything on this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver or anything else before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions?
No, sir.
Okay, let's talk this through. So I'm going to start with 22 SR 1194.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Charles, do you stipulate that there's factual basis for count 2, acquiring a plate to conceal identity of the vehicle from here in Spalding County on October 28th of 2021?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you wish to enter a guilty plea to that charge? Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on then to 23 SR 1108. Have you used a NOLO on a suspended license in the last 5 years?
I don't think so.
I can't give it to both, but I could do one. It might help a little bit.
Actually, Your Honor, he did no law in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These charges, yeah, would have to be outside the time frame. So
You have to be out.
you don't qualify. Okay, well, I just want to make sure we talk about that. All right, so then, Mr. Charles, do you stipulate to the factual basis on 23 SR 1108 for the suspended license charge from April 4th of 2023?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, do you want to enter a guilty plea to that suspended license charge, Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, last one is on 23 TK 4641 from September 29th. Mr. Charles, do you stipulate there's a factual basis for the suspended license charge?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, you wish to enter a guilty plea to that suspended license charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna find between stipulations of counsel as to the factual basis combined with the request of the defendant to enter guilty pleas, there's enough for me to take these pleas. I'm gonna find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering these pleas. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I reviewed the recommendation across all of your cases, including the 3 pleas and the 1 no cross, and I'm gonna follow the recommendation. Mr. Charles, the floor is yours if you want it.
Yes, thank you very much, Your Honor. That's it.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Jones, about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
Okay, so, Mr. Jones, starting with 22 SR 1194, count 2, acquiring a license plate that conceal identity, I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months, $742.50 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work, show your valid license to probation. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and this is consecutive to any current sentence that you're currently on probation for. Moving on to 23 SR 1108. Count 1, suspended license. This is from April 4th of 2023. Guilty, 12 months, $735 is your fine. That's also 12 months probation, same conditions as the other one. 22, this is consecutive to 22 SR 1194. That's the sentence of the court on this one. Last case, 23 TK 4641, count 1, suspended license. I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $750 is your fine. This is consecutive to 23 SR 1108, which gives you 36 months of probation. You are to get your license back. You know what, I'm keeping you on probation because I want you to get your license back. I don't necessarily need you to be e-reporting. And I don't need you to come in, so I'm gonna mark this last case as terminated upon completion, but it's also e-report. And I'm gonna mark the second case that as phone report. So you can see it's kind of graduated. I wanna give him some incentives.
Oh, okay.
Okay, again, just trying to incentivize him a bit. Mr. Jones, I need to let you know that Georgia law states that if you get 4 suspended license charges in a 5-year period, the 4th one is a felony. You have one that prohibited me from doing this NOLO plea. This is 2 and 3, which I need you to understand that if you operate a motor vehicle at this time, you will be arrested for felony suspended license. Do you understand?
He has his license back, Your Honor.
Okay, well, he's about to lose it based off of these pleas.
Right,
So-
you need to go back and.
So he's gonna have to get it back again, which I'm gonna help, I'm happy to help support you doing, but for a little bit now, you're gonna be without a license.
Are they suspended right this minute, or can I
No, we're
drive
gonna
them?
send it in. We send it in within 48 hours and DDS will notify
They
you.
will notify you and they
That
do
might
what
process
you
was okay. All right, you may step back into the sentence enforcement. All right, please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Michael James Thomas Jr.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you are here today, and according to my calendar, you are on time for court, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights are read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
I did.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any question? Your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
It is.
All right, I see where you left the citizen question blank. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to initial it and we're going to keep going. Okay, so did you sign and initial this to tell me you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? Have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorney about all aspects of your case?
I have.
Are you satisfied with the job your attorney's done on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
I do.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me before I pivot to your attorney with my next set of questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support this theft by deception plea from here in Spalding County on May 26th of 2022?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Thomas, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to that charge?
I do.
I'm gonna find between the attorney's stipulations and Mr. Thomas's request to enter a guilty plea that there's enough for me to take the plea. I'm gonna find that Mr. Thomas is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving his rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it. Mr. Malloy, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Thomas, any questions before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Michael Thomas on 22 SR 1901, count 1, theft by deception. I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation and $590 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work. Show your valid license to probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, and you'll be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 supervision fee per month, $25 intake fee. It's consecutive to any current sentence. Public defender fee of $50. Your case will close once 6 months have passed, no violations have occurred, and all conditions have been met. Those conditions also include a $190 restitution payment to Rita's Pawn. You'll pay it to the clerk's office and provide the receipt for payment to sentence enforcement, and that's how you will prove that you have satisfied your restitution. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions for me about anything before we part ways?
No, sir.
You have 30 days. No, that's it. We already covered all that. All right. You'll walk with Ms. Yarborough out of those other doors.
Okay.
You have anything else?
No, sir. That's it.
All right. Let's pivot over to the next act then. The next case I have is a malpros on Robert Reynolds. Is Robert Reynolds present? Yeah, that's good. So.
Sorry, did you just say Reynolds?
Reynolds? I said Robert. That's what I'm trying to find it too. Maybe it's on tomorrow's.
All right. Yes, sir.
case number on Reynolds, just so I can write it down?
23 SR 34.
23 SR
2034.
2034.
Judge, there was one other case we had on the calendar, I think it's Shannon
Martin.
Okay.
She was on today. We got word she was having a medical emergency, so with the state's consent, we're gonna bring her in on Monday.
Okay.
On the arraignment.
All right, I'm lifting the warrant on Martin down, because of the medical emergency. So she can walk in, obviously,
And the reason why we didn't bring her in tomorrow is because we took care of those cases today for
Right.
tomorrow, so we bring her in.
yeah, that's fine. I don't want y'all to make a special trip, so. All right, she's not gonna get picked up. I would have signed the warrants between now and then, but her warrants are written.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put, she's going to report on 2/12. Okay.
See you.
All right, let's jump into the next one. All right, I need Robert Williams to please step forward. All right, Mr. Williams, if you please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Robert Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you are here today on 23 TK 2453. And according to my calendar, you are on time for court, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that
Yes.
that you heard, that I read out?
Yes.
All right, now, Mr. Williams, you have passed up to me this self-represented, hey Ken. There. That looks good. Get them both, we get them back to me. All right, so, Mr. Williams, we're gonna come back to this right sheet. So I'm holding up the self-represented defendant clear rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes.
page 2?
Yes.
Is this your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it,
Yes.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document? You have the right to have an attorney represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, you're charged with 1 count of suspended registration. Have you used a NOLO on a suspended registration in the last 5 years?
No.
Okay. If you wish to use a NOLO on it, that'll save your license. A guilty plea to this charge will cause a suspension of your driver's license. So if you would like me to move your case from a guilty plea over to a NOLO plea, I would be willing to grant that.
Yes. No. No.
All right, you're 21 years of age or older?
Yes.
Have you used, and you've already established that you've not used a NOLO on a suspended license charge, suspended registration charge in the last 5 years,
No.
correct? And you want me to accept your NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on May 26, 2023, and resulted in this charge of suspended registration, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLO is proper, and I'm gonna grant it. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation, and I'll follow it. Any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, Robert Williams, 23 TK 2453, suspended registration, NOLO, 12 months, 750 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days. That will allow you to work off potentially pay off the fine with, in full plus $30 and close your case with no conditions of probation. 31 days from now, your probation will start, at which point you can, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work. You would also need to obtain a valid license and show it to probation, or sentence enforcement, excuse me. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you satisfy your obligations. There would just be additional obligations if you got to that point. Any questions for me about anything?
No, can it just be paid today?
Yeah, when you meet with sentence enforcement, they'll give you those directions. But that's the way this is set up, is for you to be able to do that. So, all right, that's it. If you will please step out with Mr. Richards out those double doors and we'll meet with sentence enforcement. All right, Barton?
Yeah, you're going far.
All right, Ms. Barton, if you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, if you will state your full name for me.
Latanya Barton.
And Ms. Barton, you have one item on the calendar, which is 23 TK 3522. But then we found and added another case to the calendar, 23 SR 0029. It's my understanding that you've worked out an agreement to resolve both of these cases today with a plea. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You were on time for court this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Barton, you have passed up to me, you understood all those rights?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Barton, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it,
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
And you have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Barton, starting with, starting with 23 SR 0029, have you used a NOLO on a suspended license charge in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
And are you asking me to accept this NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on August 31st, 2021, and results in this charge of suspended license?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to 23 TK 3522. Did you here in Spalding County operate your motor vehicle at a speed of 39 miles an hour in a 25 mile an hour zone on July 27th of 2023?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, I'm gonna find that as to 23 SR 29, that your request for a NOLO is proper, and I'm gonna grant it.
Yes.
As to 23 TK 3522, I'm gonna find that with your admission of guilt, there's enough for me to accept your plea.
Yes, sir.
I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it as you've negotiated it. Any questions about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then Ms. Barton, starting with 23 SR 29, count 1, suspended license, I'm gonna grant your NOLO. It's 12 months probation, $735 is your fine. Counts 2 and 3 are dismissed. You may work off your fine with community service work. Obtain your valid license or show your valid license to probation. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any current sentence. This case will close the moment you satisfy your obligations to the court. All right, so far so good?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to your next case, 23 TK 3522. Count 1, speeding, 39 and 25. Guilty, 12 months, $195 is your fine. Count 2 is dismissed in this case. Same license, testing, and fines and fees. This is consecutive to 23 TK 29. So although the first one was 12 months, you can terminate that one as soon as you check your boxes. And as soon as you terminate that one, the second one starts. And the second one is also terminated upon completion. So although you've got 24 months of probation, it terminates the moment you've satisfied your obligations. So you can terminate almost immediately. Do you understand that?
I pay one and pay the other and they're both.
That's correct. And that's why we're running them consecutive, because we've realized that it creates a problem when we run them concurrent, because your money gets distributed between both cases and you're trying to close one of them and it dilutes your ability to close one of them. So we run them, that's why we do it. That's why we do it this way, is to make it easier on y'all. It lets you put all of your efforts into one case and then all of your efforts into the second case.
Okay.
And we've gotten positive feedback that people appreciate that, because otherwise by law, the sentence enforcement team has to disperse your money between both cases at the same time, which leads to a lot of frustration at both sentence enforcement and the people that are there. So like I said, we've gotten a lot of feedback that this is a much better system. It just sounds a little wonky up front. So, okay. So like I said, this is consecutive. So 23 SR 3522 is consecutive. And it'll be terminated upon completion, just like the rest of them. All right. That'll do it. You have 6 months from today if you wish. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Okay. We'll take care of it. Any questions before we part ways?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You're going to step up those over doors. Menace. All right, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right. Please state your full name for me.
Justice Menace.
All right, Mr. Menace, you're here on 23 TK 4228. Am I correct that you're under 21?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Menace, you, Mr. Menace, you were on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Mr. Menace, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Do you understand from reading on here as well as hearing me say that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Right, I understand. Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial in this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Menace, you're charged with, frankly, a very fast speed. You're charged with going 102 and a 70 here in Spalding County back on September 9th of 2023. Did you operate your motor vehicle at 102 and a 70 back on that day?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the solicitor's office has set the speed at a place where this speed, actually it's, or as it came in, this speed in and of itself will not cause a suspension of your license, but it will put you on the knife edge of losing your license. So, because you're under 21, is that correct?
Yes.
So if you get any more tickets, you'll very likely lose your license by operation of Georgia law. If you do not get any more tickets, then you'll very likely get to keep your license. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm going to find with your admission of guilt, there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights to enter this plea. I review the recommendation that you negotiated and I follow it. Any questions before I sentence?
No, sir.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Menace, on 23 TK 4228 from September 9th, 2023, just again, did you operate your motor vehicle at a speed of 102 and a 70?
Yes.
We'll find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, 766.25 is your fine. That's total of 12 months. Count 2 is dismissed. Show your valid license and probation. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This runs consecutive to any current sentence. This case is terminated the moment you satisfy your obligations to the court, which also includes completing a defensive driving course. At 30 days from today, if you wish to appeal this decision, you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, any questions for me before you and I part ways?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to pass you off to Mr. Smith. He's going to walk you out those double doors and have you go lead the sentence enforcement. Good luck to you. All right, Simon. All right, if you could please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, if you will definitely keep your mask on, just lean into the mic, it'll get loud if you get close. All right, just state your full name for me.
Rahulda Simon.
All right, perfect, there we go. Ms. Simon, you're here on 23 TK 3628, and according to my calendar, you were on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Simon, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. You recognize this document that I'm holding up as the written version of those rights I read out earlier.
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Simon, you have the right to have an attorney represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you are here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Simon, you are charged in 23 TK 3628 from July 29th of 2023 with one count of failure to stop at a stop sign. Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay, big pause. Any questions I can answer for you? I'm gonna take it at your word, unless you tell me differently, okay? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Simon, having just said I'm gonna take you at your word and you're not changing it, I'm gonna go forward with this plea. Is that what you want me to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Simon, on 23 TK 3628, at one stop sign violation, I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, 158 is your fine. Count 2 is dismissed. I'm gonna delay the start of your probation by 30 days. That allows you to pay your 158 in full plus $30 to participate in a 30 by 30 program. 31 days from now, if your case is still open, you'll be, probation will start automatically, at which point you will need to, or you may work off your fine with community service work, but you will need to show your valid license to sentence enforcement. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case is still closed the moment you satisfy your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Okay, any questions or anything before we part ways?
Yes, I just want to ask one question. I have to pay all of that plus the 158?
Do that one more time, one more
I
time.
have to, how much do I have to pay right now before the 30 days?
In the next 30 days, it would be 158 plus $30. So 188 will close your case in the next 30 days.
And then if I don't pay that amount, I have to pay what, $50 to go back and forth?
Yes, each month. After that, your probation starts 31 days from today. And if that's the case, then you'll need to pay $50 per month supervision fee. each month while your case is still open. And again, it's a terminated upon completion. So they're gonna help you close it. They don't want you to stay on probation with them. They're gonna do whatever they can do to help you get it closed. Any questions? That's a good question. Do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
Ms. Yarborough? Excellent. This is why no one lets me look at it. Okay. All right, if you'll step back to this lady first, please. McKinley? All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Leanna Tristan Brown.
All right. Ms. McKinley, you are here today on 22 SR 1046. And according to my calendar, you are on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
All right, did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir, I did.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. McKinley, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir, I did.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. McKinley, you have the right to have an attorney represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, by doing this, you're here today without an attorney. Do you want to go forward with this plea without an attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, you're doing so, and no jury trial will happen. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're just getting quieter as we go.
Sorry.
Any questions I can answer for you now?
No, sir.
You want me to keep going with this plea?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. McKinley, you're charged with one count of theft by shoplifting, and that you did here in Spalding County. Pull up your file here. Give me just a second. All right, did you commit the offense of shoplifting here in Spalding County on August 13th of 2020?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ellis, I need to name whoever it is in the location.
The Walmart.
Walmart, okay. So did you commit the offense of shoplifting by taking property of Walmart, which is merchandise, to your own use, by concealing it and not paying for it and depriving Walmart of ownership? Did you do that here in Spalding County on August 13th of 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. Do you have any questions that I can answer for you about anything? I'm sensing lots of pauses here, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm reading here.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, but that's okay. What questions do you have?
I don't know.
You don't have any? Okay. Do you have this? If you come up with a question, you promise to interrupt me and ask me your question.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. All right. Are you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. McKinley, on 22 SR 1046 from August 13th of 2020, count 1, shoplifting, I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, 445 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work. Show you valid license, assent enforcement, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those.
The 12 months probation is when I pay my fine, my probation is, right?
That's what it says. So, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. Your case will close the moment You satisfied your obligations. Between here and there, don't go near any Walmart. And they probably banned you from Walmart themselves, but I don't have any control over that. All right, any questions?
When do I go get home probation?
Right now, as soon as you walk out that door with the bailiffs, sentence enforcement will be waiting out there to speak with you.
And if I pay it today, I'll be on probation today.
They'll probably have you come to your first report date because they need to do an orientation and get you in their system. But you could definitely, I don't see any reason why you couldn't close this at your first report date, but you won't be able to close it today. So you gotta come back one more time, let them do their thing, and then you'll be able to close it. Is that acceptable?
Well, I'm moving, that's why.
Where are you moving and when are you moving?
The middle of the month, so Harvard, Montana.
All right, I don't see any reason why you can't get it closed before you leave in the middle of the month. So they're gonna bring you in, but make sure you tell them that when you get back there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Just gotta go. Southeast Mexico, Robert Williams. I think I did.
What you looking at?
I think I screwed this up. I just pulled Robert Williams, but I
Yes,
took
sir.
his place, so, which means I separated, this is why y'all can't leave paperwork with me, I'm supervising. I have Robert Williams' ticket, he pled and he went out that way, so in just a moment, this needs to go out to Savannah. So she's looking for it, I'm sure. Yeah, I know that I took it, but obviously when I picked up the clip, it obviously clicked itself to the next one. How about Gonzalez?
Good morning.
Good morning. Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can take your hand down. State your full name for me.
Jonathan Gonzalez.
All right, you were late to court today, but you came in, you asked for a conference, and it looks like you're gonna resolve your case. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, I'm holding up. Oh, wait. It's got the wrong one. This one's just grab a seat at that table right there. We're gonna be signing a little bit of a different piece of paperwork. Actually, actually, Margaret, I can just move him all the way. I just realized that he's a no-load and you have the funds to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have you fill that out after the plate. So come back up, because you've already filled out the attorney defendant one. We just, we gave you the wrong one. It just needs to be the self-representative. Because you're representing yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna do the plate and then you're gonna fill that out before you go downstairs.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes, sir.
Have you used a NOLO on a moving violation in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Are you asking me to accept this NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on 23 TK 3757 and results in this charge of speeding, looks like maybe 69 and a 35?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It looks like it says 691, but that can't be right.
Yeah, the ticket got printed funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
It's 69. And Judge, Mr. Gonzalez he was here a couple months ago on a calendar.
I think it was Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And he turned 21 the end of January, so we just reset him for today so he can come in and do this.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Well, then we are good to go. Mr. Gonzalez, now grab a seat there, fill out the self-represented. It's the same thing other than it says you're okay not having an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, then we're adjourned on that one.
Okay.
And as soon as he's finished, Miss Margaret, one of y'all can walk him down. Okay, I have Victoria Baker. Miss Baker, come on up. This one. There's a lot of people here, and I don't have anything else up here, so just say that out loud. All right, Miss Baker, if you'll raise your right hand for me. That's okay. It's all right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Victoria Baker.
Ms. Baker, I saw where you were on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is on 23 TK 4343. And I noted that you wanted me to place you down for a bench trial, is that correct? Or do you want a conference?
I'm unsure.
Okay, well, are there any questions that I can answer for you to help you figure out which way you want me to move your case?
Judge, we've already, Ms. Tony's already spoken with her just a minute ago.
Oh, okay, so you had a conference already?
I did.
Okay, so your two options, well, you really have three options, you ready? Your three options are, you can accept the recommendation, which I have no idea what it is, and I don't have a preference on it. You can have me set you down for a trial, sure, your bench, doesn't matter, you've asked for a bench trial so far. Or you can just enter a plea with no negotiations, and I'll just decide what to do with it. That's not a pathway a lot of people take, but some do. So I can either put you down for a trial, are your main two options, bench or jury, or you can accept whatever, I assume y'all made an offer on the case.
We
Okay.
did.
Or you can accept the offer that was made on the case. Do you understand that I don't have a preference in that decision?
Yes, sir.
The only preference I have is that you make the decision that you think is best for yourself. Are there any questions I can answer for you about your choices?
I'm still unsure. I'm just more so worried about it not going on my record.
Well, let me ask Ms. Tony a question then. Do you mind telling me what the recommendation is?
I offered her 14 over, so a non-reportable speeding ticket and a fine of $5.90.
All right, the 14 ever does not go in your driver's history. It is not reported by the clerk to the Department of Driver Services by Georgia law. So it will not, now there will be a record of it here in our clerk's office that you had a case, you resolved it at 14 ever. But our clerk will not be sending that conviction to the Department of Driver Services, and it will not appear on your driver's history, even if we did by mistake. It will not go there. Does that help you frame up what you're concerned about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So knowing that and that being your concern, are there any other concerns you have that I can address as you decide whether you want me to put you down for a trial or let you resolve the case with the court?
I want to resolve it.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do, Ms. Baker, is have you take a seat in that seat sheet right there. The bailiffs are going to give you what's called a self-represented. Oh, do you have the funds today?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask them to write up a sentence sheet, and the bailiffs are going to give you a write sheet. As soon as those are ready, I'll take your picture. So just grab a seat right there. Okay.
Yeah, you did. She does have it.
Okay, you are Elijah White.
Yes, sir.
Mr. White, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Elijah Deshaun White.
All right. Mr. White, you're here on two cases, 22 SR 1663 and 22 SR 1664. You are on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had a conference with the state on both of your cases?
Yes, sir.
And do you know what you would like to do with your two cases, or do you have questions that I could answer?
At the moment, I really don't.
Okay, what do you want to do then?
I would like to know if I do a bench or jury trial, like what's the max amount of time that I probably receive on probation?
12 years.
Well, but it's per charge, and he's got 5 charges.
12.
So that's 12 years? Okay, so 12 years is the answer. The technical answer to your technical question is 12 years. That is the maximum amount allowed by law. So I've answered a direct question with a direct answer. Am I going to put you on probation for 12 months or put you in jail for 12 years? Probably not, but that's the best I can tell you. So you can't get any more out of me than that. So the best I can tell you is if you're found guilty by me or a jury, your sentence will be something less than 12 years to serve in the Spalding County Jail. It's not a very emotionally satisfying answer, but it's the only answer I can give you.
I got
You have to decide for yourself what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
So, do you want to accept the recommendation made by the state, or do you want me to put you down for a jury trial or a bench trial in your cases?
I just got one more question.
Okay.
If I beat one of the cases, say for instance I beat the second case and I don't beat the first case, like what could be my max of probation?
8.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at. I'm counting charges here. Well, one of them's got more than the others, but 8's a good round number. So, short answer is just take the number of charges you have for each of your charges, multiply them by 12, and that's the answer. So on 1663, I get to say justice is slow today. Why did they do that database justice? That's a important thing. I'm doing these in years because it's just easier, but it's technically in months, but it's 8 years in Spalding County Jail on 22 SR 1663. On 1664, it's 4 charges, so, and that's what got me confused, is that there was a
felony on that other.
there was a felony, okay. Well, so that's why it's 12. I will state, and I will put on the record that one of our newer policies that I'm rolling out, and you're my first person to discuss this in the courtroom, is that when people come in with 2 or more charges on my calendars, I'm on my own motion reviewing their bonds as we go. And especially if it's like a felony that came down. So I just need you to know that in the background of all of this is me pulling and reviewing your bond conditions to determine if they are the correct bond conditions for what you have going on. So that's on my scheduling order now moving forward. And so I'm just letting you know that that's also, you need to factor that in as part of what's going on in your cases, is that I may determine that you need a more restrictive bond. I might determine that no changes are needed. I might determine that you're not a candidate for bond. I will tell you, these charges have me deeply concerned. What am I going to do with it? I don't know, but I'm just telling you the sheer volume of charges that you have and the high quality, for lack of a better term, of charges that you have, including felonies that got kicked down to me, have me concerned. about what's going on in your life. So,
How many felonies?
and criminal interference with government property,
He had a second felony, this is a third case. That was a felony burglary that was also dismissed.
okay. So that's it, I'm just making you aware of that. So, oh, I see it, it's 22 FAH 1041.
We gotta move on, man. We'll just try your case in a couple weeks.
Okay, so, Mr. White, that's it. Take the plea, or I'm gonna put you down for trial.
I do the bench trial with attorney.
Got it. Let me pull that out.
These things are.
Disposition.
Am I allowed to bring evidence to the court date?
You should.
These are from December, this first one's from December of 2020. They just had plenty of time to get a lawyer.
Do you know count 5 is just no license on person, or is count 5 driving without a valid license?
I believe it's driving without a license. It's driving without.
It's the 4520.
40.
Okay. No, I feel like yes. All right, Mr. White, let's get back on record, everybody. Mr. White, I've asked Ms. Yarborough to hand you the verdict form that I just filled out at your request on your first case, 22 SR 1664. Do you see where it says, "I am the defendant in this matter"?
Yes, sir.
And I voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently waive my rights to, number 1, formal arraignment, number 2, a jury trial, and number 3, an attorney, and I wish to represent myself at bench trial. I plead not guilty to the charge below, and I demand a bench trial. Is that an accurate statement of what you want me to do with your case?
This for the first case, right?
I'm sorry?
This for the first case?
Yes, I'm filling out the second case while we're speaking.
No, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I would take the first case, but I'm saying the second case, I don't want to take it. I don't want to have that on my record, because I know I can beat it.
Okay.
I offered to dismiss that case an hour and a half ago.
But that's still me doing the same amount of time.
It
12
is.
and 12, that's 24.
So you're wanting to plead to one of your cases and have a trial on the other?
Yes, sir.
Which case?
The second case.
The one that's in my hand?
Yes, sir.
Have him fill out a self-represented defendant clearance waiver. We'll take it as a non-negotiated plea. That'll take it off your list. I'm gonna withhold sentencing until the other case is closed. Does that make sense, Mr. Shepherd? Okay. Grab that other seat. I'm gonna take Ms. Baker's plea. You're gonna fill out your form. Mr. Shepherd, for convenience purposes, will you fill out a blank sentencing sheet so that we can mark it non-negotiated, so that I can mark it as held? And that way, we'll all just.
I got one.
And if you have a different suggestion as to the procedure here, I just thought that would fix that issue.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna circle back to Ms. Baker, I believe. All right. Ms. Baker, if you will please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, please state your full name for me.
Victoria Baker.
Ms. Baker, you're here on 23 TK 4343. And according to my calendar and my memory, you were on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Baker, did you understand all of those rights?
Yes, sir.
You have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you see on here as well as hear me say that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand that I'm gonna take you at your word and I'm gonna move forward with what you're telling me and the way you're telling me to do it. Is that what you want me to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, and we'll trust that if you want me to move differently, you'll tell me. Ms. Baker, the state has offered a reduced charge in that you did here in Spalding County operate your motor vehicle at a speed of 69 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. That is not reported to the Department of Driver Services by Georgia law. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna find with your admission of guilt, there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm gonna find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it as it's been negotiated. Can I answer any questions for you about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Baker, on 23 TK 4343 from September 13th of 2023, count 1 speeding, 69 and 55, I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $590 is your fine. Ms. Baker, I'm gonna delay the start of your probation by 30 days to allow you to participate in our 30 by 30 program. So if you pay your fine in full plus $30, your case will close in the next 30 days. If you're unsuccessful in closing your case, then your probation begins automatically 31 days from now, at which point you may, if you choose, work off your fine with community service work. You will need to show your valid license to probation, have no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, and be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, any questions from me about anything before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
Ms. Baker, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And since enforcement will meet out in the hallway, Ms. Yarbrough is going to walk you out.